All right. Good morning, guys. Sorry I'm running a bit behind. I had a phone call and I could not get off of it. I was trying, but sometimes, can't get off of it. But so far, it looks like nothing's really going on. Even MRN dropping down a little bit. That's concerning. Let's see if I'm missing anything. The good thing about the stock market is if you miss a rip, there's always another opportunity around the corner. So, got some higher cap stocks moving, looks like. I don't see a lot of. See, how's the SPY doing? SPY looks like it's having a little bit of a rebound day. PTT is just sold off. I definitely do want to keep an eye on CATB. It just got downgraded. That they didn't meet their primary endpoints to their study, and it dropped from 550 all the way down to a low of $1.63. So this is possibly one of those dead cat bounces. Maybe gets back over 170. I think if it gets back over 175, might be a possible play then. ICG started out moving up. It didn't really move that far though. It moved about 30 cents. It can rip. Looks like probably Monday last week or something, it went from 70 cents to $1.75, so it has the ability to rip. Getting hung up at this pre-market high. Let's see, what's it at? 169. Hey, thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. 169. 170, but even 175 is going to be, that whole area is going to be resistance. Because you got pre-market high at 170 and then high days at 175. So if it could break over that, then maybe there could be something there. MRIN getting pushed back up a little bit. That's why now not a lot of volume on this, but it does have a bit of a flag. Oh, that looks ugly. Staff has just been selling off. Let's see, what was the successful completion of debt restructuring? Volume's kind of died off on it though. I don't really want to put it on the watch list. See, OPTT. Yeah, OPTT's got quite a bit of a downtrend. Been selling off all morning, so if maybe buyers come back into it. They're contracted for something with the U.S. Navy. So anytime a penny stock gets a government type of deal or a deal with a big company, that's pretty decent news, but I don't want to touch it really until it gets back over 2. I'm not seeing a whole lot else. At least not in the penny stock world. Let's see, let's go down through here. Yeah, that's what I was noticing here. Small caps are not doing too much. Let's see. CFHS, a little COVID press release. Not a lot of volume though. Yeah, I'm not seeing very much today. Thing I do like, I mean, oh, let's see. Let's see, where's our trend line at here? Okay, here's our trend line on ISIG. I do like MSN, let's throw it up here. I do like ISIG for the fact that it's on an uptrend. It kind of looks like it could either pull back to this trend line if it doesn't rip here soon. It looks like it may possibly rip. Let's see, MSN. Yeah, not a lot of volume, but pretty decent move so far. About 20 cents. It's not a... Well, I guess it's had some pretty decent rips. So I would just be looking at this downtrend for it to try to break that downtrend. Keep an eye on MSN though. I mean, it just doesn't have a very, it doesn't have quite that much volume. It is interesting. It's kind of like a big flag. We'll see what happens with it. Yeah, so maybe ISIG is going to pull back down to this trend line. If it pulls back down to this trend line and that area holds, may possibly look for an entry. So right now 150 is trying to hold up as some support, which that could hold up. We'll have to see, but right now it's kind of pointing downward, so I don't want to touch it yet. We'll wait till we see some type of little bit of reversal. We got a crazy triangle forming on MRIN. My swing trade, man, this is either gonna go down real hard soon in the next couple of days or today, or it's gonna rip real hard soon. Definitely a nice wedge. Yeah, okay, so ISIG it's cracked that 150. Looks like it's going to try to come back down to the trend line. So we'll wait and see if that holds up. If it holds the trend line, might be able to get a little play there. But there's not. SYNL. Let's see, staff. Staff is getting real close to breaking this downtrend. So what was the press releases on this? Oh yeah, they had a successful data restructure. Let's put on here. I mean, it's starting to break the downtrend, but it's not a lot of volume right at the second. It's got a huge float. I'm gonna want to trade that. Yeah, there's not a lot of not a lot of possible plays. MRIN starting to pop up a little bit. You can see it's still kind of in that downtrend. Got to get above 345. Let's see. Let's watch ISIG for a second. See what it's going to start doing. I want to see this trend line hold up. It's probably going to, let's see. It's probably going to come down closer. Yeah, there's some indecision right now at this 143 area. It looks like, I don't know, let's see. I mean, the trend line's like 138, so it's not that far from the trend line. You can see the closer we're getting to the trend line, the more buyers are there, so we might give it a minute. See if it holds up. Now let's see. And we still got pretty decent volume on this, even though it's been selling volume in the last 20 minutes. It's still volume in the millions, so possible trend line bounce. Foreman here. You see plenty of buyers sitting there in this area. See what happens in the next few minutes. A lot of sellers there at 145. So there's some pressure trying to keep this down. Those 145s are getting taken out though pretty quickly. And now it's still holding up. What's SunW doing? SNUNW coming up to the downtrend. Let's put it on the watch list because it does have a little bit of volume getting a little attention. That $3 area, the 9 is right at 290. Let's hop back over to ISIG. So nothing quite yet on ISIG. Candles, the selling candles are getting tighter as we're getting closer to this downtrend. We just want to kind of see a little bit of reversal of buyers starting to come in, because right now we still got red volume bars. So in a couple of minutes we should see something there. OPTT. There's no volume on it. MSN cracking off here. Could bounce off of $1. That is a possible play, but you still don't have a lot of volume on it. That'd be the only thing concerning about it. Let's see here. So ISIG looking like it's going to try to hold this trend line. And then we also got SUNW is really pulling back from that downtrend. OPTT, like I said, OPTT could be a play if it gets back over 2, but until then, I don't really want to touch it. Ooh, ISIG just cracking the trend line here, so this may be done. That's why I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait and make sure. We'll see if it ends up holding up or not. There's a good bit of buyers in there at 135, but they are getting slammed pretty hard right here. And just look at this level 2. And they're trying to hang in there. They're trying to hold it up though. Let's see, I think another 5 minutes on this. And then we'll have a better idea if this trend line is going to hold up. But it could be, you know. There may not be a play today. If everything is, you know, kind of off in the penny stock world, there may just not be a play. I'm not going to force anything. You can see on the 1 minute that this may be getting ready to crack pretty hard, possibly, by looking at this, where it hit the downtrend, or not the downtrend, but it hit the trend line twice, and it acted as resistance. If it drops below 133, this is probably done. This may crack pretty hard here soon. If you're a shorter, it may be a good opportunity, but I don't know how low it'll go. It's getting real sketchy. The buyers are trying to hold it up, but it's looking real sketchy. I don't know which way that's going to go at the moment. Yeah, see, staff just no volume right now. Volume below 1 million on ISIG. Oh, on that 1 minute candle. But these last, you know, all the candles so far have been over 1 million. Just this one hasn't yet on the 5 minute. See, now well, looks like it's trying to hold up. I mean, this area right here is going to be a sketchy area. This is an indecision area. This is where they're going to decide who's going to win the battle, and then volume will start coming in either if it bounces off the trend line, or if it keeps cracking, then shorters will come in and take complete control of it over it. So that's why we don't have a ton of volume right at the moment on this 5 minute candle. You can see it, this little candle here is getting squished. It's indecision. And we still got 3 minutes on this 5 minute candle too. It's almost reached 1 million, so there's still pretty decent volume on this. More than on anything else. Let's see, OPTT, still not getting a lot of volume, but slowly starting to creep up to that $2 mark. Go ahead and remove that downtrend. Yeah, if we see this come back up and then start to break $2 with some volume coming in, then that may be a play. Boy, that line's crooked. There we go. Still seems crooked, but whatever. Back here in pre-market, let's see. Actually, it's probably a little bit higher than $2. Probably like 203. I'd say that $2 to 205. That area is going to be resistance. It's kind of a resistance zone like that there. We'll see what happens though. Check on ISIG. So ISIG looks like it may try to hold the trend line if it can get back above it. CASI. I think I have CASI on my... Oh, what is going on here? It's running right into the 200 day though. Let's see. They did something. They team up, develop anti-cancer agent. So that's interesting. A little bit bigger of a float. But it is running right into this 200 day right at the moment. That 215 area is going to be pretty tough. It's also not a lot of big moves on this stock looking back. You know, there's like 20-cent moves. I mean, that's probably to do with that bigger float. Let's see, I may go here on ISIG off this trend line bounce. Starting to get a little bit of buying volume back in. Yeah, I'm gonna go 100 shares, and I'm just gonna have a 10-cent stop loss right down here below this 133. And let's see if it keeps bouncing off this trend line or not here. It needs to get back above 145, back above that 9 EMA, but starting to pop up a little bit. We did just get back over 145. Let's see, we're getting hung up. Yeah, we're getting hung up at 147. There's like 3 candles back here. That's just some resistance. See right straight across there. There's a couple of candles. So we'll see. This could be a short-lived bounce. That could have been all it was. A last-ditch effort to save it on the trend line. We shall see. There's a good bit of resistance between like 145 and 150. So I mean, we're running into several resistance areas. But if it can break through those, I think buying volume will come back in over 150, and we'll see us try to push up to that 175 again. And then I'll probably be where I lock out unless it looks like it's going to break. We'll see. I mean, this is, you know, this could be 10-15 minute hold here before it even does anything. Just kind of consolidating above this trend line at the moment. You can see we kind of got this downtrend. On the 1 minute here. Oh yeah, it's getting a little sketchy, so that might have been all the bounce it was. PTT nothing yet. Staff still curling up some. Some W nothing. Yeah, there's really nothing else. So we'll see. We want to see it break this downtrend on the 1 minute soon, though. Let's take a look. SPY doing? Let's check on the SPYs, the overall market. Oh, kind of dipping a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of a mixed market. See there on the 1 minute, it keeps hitting this little steep downtrend. We want to see that break so we know that sellers are starting to lose control. And we're back to some indecision again on this trend line. If this keeps testing this trend line, then this is going to crack. See, now we're back testing that trend line. Need to see buyers coming in to hold it up. Push back over 140 as I'm selling, sitting there at 140. Shorters are trying to take a hold of this. Getting a little sketchy. We really need to see some buyers start coming back in. If buyers give up, that's going to be it. I'm seeing a whole lot more selling than buying at the moment. Yeah, if buyers don't come in soon, this is going to be done. Okay, there's some buyers sitting at 135. But they're starting to get taken out too. This is the second test of this trend line. I really don't like this. It's getting real sketchy. And you can see how it followed this downtrend on the 1 minute. It just went right down it. And this is only up 43%. Man. Got a lot of indecision. Now 1 minute, 3 different dojis. Well, this one's not really a doji, but 2 dojis and whatever you want to call that thing there. Now, this is getting real sketchy. This is probably going to crack here soon. Yeah, sellers are really pushing. Okay, there's a little bit of buying coming back in at 135. Finally there, but for a few minutes there, it was getting real sketchy. There was no buyers coming back in. So we got a minute and a half on this 5-minute candle here. Let's see, okay, we're starting to finally break this little straight downtrend on the 1 minute. See if it closes above that. Also needs to break back above the uptrend. Needs to get back over 140 here real soon. Kind of one of those plays where you could just kind of sit it and forget it for a little bit. I mean, I got the stop loss in, about 10-cent stop loss, not a lot going on. See, actually, here's the real downtrend we need to worry about. This is the 5-minute downtrend. Yeah, it needs to get back above 140. If it doesn't get back above 140 soon, it's gonna crack off. See what's OPT doing? Nothing yet. Has been some decent, like little bits of buying coming in OPTT. Keep an eye on it. MRIN selling off pretty hard. And then this wedge. This swing trade may not work out. Let's see, you can see ISIG trying to get back above 140 now. but getting held up there. So this is probably the tipping point. If it doesn't get back above, it's gonna most likely sell off. If it does get back above, it may be alive again. But you can see there, getting rejected. CSI just doing nothing. MSN doing nothing. There's no volume on it at all. Alright, well that looks decent. We did get back above 140, so that downtrend's broken. Now we won't be out of the woods till it gets over this 147. Gets over that 147, 150 area. Then we might be good to go. Whew, there's a ton of sellers sitting at 142 though. They're really trying to hold this down. Yeah, we're definitely not out of the woods on this yet, even though it did break that 5-minute trend. We have a little area there. That 142 is holding up. See, OPTT still slowly sneaking up to that $2 area. Volume slowly increasing. You know, we could possibly see it start moving. ISIG is getting weak. Yeah, ISIG is getting real weak. OPTT is starting to get a little volume. I may take a shot on OPTT. Yeah, ISIG is probably gonna crack. Because it just cannot hold that trend line. Let's see though. Keep an eye on OPTT for a second here. May take a shot on OPTT if start to see a little more buying come in. See, where's the 210 is where the 9 is on the I'm gonna take a shot on this. There is a little bit of buying slowly coming in. Now we're going to run into $2 and 205 is going to be strong resistance. But because it's kind of sketchy today with volume and stuff, I'm just getting in a little early. Having a little pullback there. Still, give it some time. If this buying keeps slowly ramping up, we could have a breakout here soon. Now you need to get real close to that $2 area. I'm only going 50 shares, going kind of light on it. At 198, 10-cent stop loss will be the low of day, so that's not bad. So we'll go ahead and put the stop loss in there. So if it drops back down and breaks below the low of day, it's definitely not doing anything, but we'll let that ride for a little bit here and see what happens. See if it can push through this resistance zone here and really get going. Oops, get out of here. Let's see. ISIG still hasn't cracked off yet. Oops, I don't know what I did there. Get out of there. It's still hanging in there. See, on the 1 minute we have a bit of a triangle that's formed a little bit of a wedge. So if that type of consolidation, it's going to make a move here real soon here, one way or the other. Hey, Doc Trader. What's up, buddy? Thank you for the welcome back. Let's see what happens. Volume is getting real light on ISIG now. Let's see. Those 5-minute candles over 1 million, but right here on the 1 minute, very, very light candles in this consolidation. We even dojied right there, but it's still looking like it's trying to sell off. Usually a doji indicates a trend reversal on the 5 minute, but I don't know, it's still looking kind of weak. See how OPTT's doing. OPTT, still not a lot. Now remember, there's not a lot of volume on OPT at the, it's just been little slow bits of buying volume, and the real volume most likely will not come in unless this breaks 205. If people see it start breaking that 205 area, then volume might come in. So like I said, I just got in early just to have a little bit of cushion up to that. Oh, looks like ISI. Yeah, ISIG is probably about to crack. It is getting real close to cracking. I mean, as you see, there's still some buyers sitting at 135 trying to hold it up, but if buyers don't come in and push it off that, the sellers are just going to keep taking out that 135, and it's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. Yeah, real quiet on ISIG at the moment. OPT real quiet too. Pulling back a little bit, but that's okay. If 135 doesn't hold up here on ISIG, that's going to be it. And you can see a little bit of buyers coming in there, pushing it off of 135. We haven't had a green 5-minute candle in 25 minutes. And you see we're testing that 135 again. Well, it's starting to crack. A lot of selling going through at 135 on that time and sales up here. I'm in on ISIG. Was looking for it to bounce off this trend line. It did get a little bounce, but I was looking for a little bit more. And right now, I'm just sitting here waiting to see if it's gonna, we're kind of below the trend line, but it's still trying to hold up this 135 area. That's not looking too good. And then I do have a small position in OPTT. OPTT was climbing up right there a little bit very slowly. I mean, there's not really a lot going on today, so yeah, here comes the crack. Here comes the crack. This trend line's looking pretty broken. WEI. I'm about sure I'm about to get stopped out on this, but we'll go ahead and hop over to WEI. No PR. We have no press release on this. It's had pretty decent volume. Getting hung up at the 200 day right at the moment, but I do like that this has been in an uptrend, starting to get some pretty decent volume here. I think if it breaks over 225 with pretty good volume, you'll probably get a move here. Got a little bit of a flag at the moment on the 1 minute. But yeah, I think the break at 225. I mean, you got a little resistance at 244, 250, but nothing really until 3, and even then, yeah, 3. There we go. So there's definitely possibly a play there, but you are a little bit off of the 9 EMA. The 9's all the way back down to 2. Well, you can kind of see now that little flag on the 1 minute is starting to crack some. So it could come back down to 2 and maybe do a little consolidation like this. Then bounce back up there. Still haven't got stopped out there yet. No, and OPTT is just doing nothing now. Okay, it did pull back into the triangle. Or the flag, whatever you want to call it. Oh yeah, okay, so okay, I did get stopped out on ISG, so failed trend line there. You can tell this 200-day moving average is acting as some real pretty strong resistance. But as we're kind of consolidating here, the 9 is slowly moving up, so this may get a break here soon. Need to see some more buying volume come in though. We had that nice buying volume through there, and then now it's kind of pretty much volume is tapered off at the moment. Yeah, so pull back down to the 9 so far. Now, keep in mind that could be all this had today, because there isn't any PRs. Could have been a little bounce from this big sell-off, but that 200-day could hold up and keep it from going any higher today. I mean, we're still on an overall uptrend for the day, but this is this is kind of a steep uptrend. So it's kind of iffy at the moment. But if the 9 EMA holds up, it should be okay. It still has the potential to break over that 215 area. 215, 225 if it can keep slowly climbing up like it's doing. See, OPT still not cracking out yet. Still slowly just fumbling along. That candle did get close to back up to that $2 mark. Let's see. Oh yeah, nice bounce off of the 9. Pushed it all the way back up to that 215 area. So there's a possibility this still could break. Yeah, it's starting to look pretty decent here. See, you got rejected off that downtrend line though. Looked like it was going to break it for a second, but still a little sketchy. I mean, you're still above the 9, so you're safe there. But just kind of consolidating at the moment. Guys, give me just a minute. I'll be right back. All right, so that's still trying to break. But still got to break at 225 as well. And we'll see buying volume start increasing up into that 225 area. Let's pop over to OPT and check on it. Slowly bumbling. Decent buyer just came in there at 214. About 20,000 shares. But because of the top of this candle didn't go any higher, we still kind of have a downtrend. Hey Mark, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I'm back finally. I'm back. There was a long hiatus there for a while. So coming back down to the 9 again. I mean, it's just consolidating under this resistance. But it needs to continually test that resistance and not test the 9. Your 9 is your support right now. See if OPTT gets back over 196 here. Get some volume actually in this. You see a bunch of sellers just popped up on the ask at 196, so still going to be bumbling around until we get some actual buying volume in here, because volume is real light on OPTT right now. Ooh, 50,000 share seller sitting at 215 now. That's a little concerning. You want to see him get taken out real fast. If not, then he may hold us down. Looking at this time in sales, we're not getting any 215 orders coming in either to try to take him out. Getting 214.5, but okay, there's one 215, but it's only 9. Okay, now it's starting to now it's starting to break down. All right, that's what you want to see. You need volume to keep coming in here though and push it over the top of this downtrend line. Kind of all over the place here. You can just see it on the daily chart. This 200-day moving average at 215 is just holding it. At 215 actually starting to build as support. So okay, this might start to rip here. Let's see what happens. 2 minutes on this candle. You definitely want this candle to close over, this 5-minute candle to close over 215. See if these sellers at 218 get taken out pretty quick or not. No. See at 215 again. Pulling back below it. You got a minute for this to close over 215. Oh, it's starting to look pretty decent here. Ran right up to that 125 or that 225. See, we don't see buying volume keep coming in because it's gonna break that 225 too, and then I think it'll be off. Yeah, there it goes. Boom. New high day at 228. Ooh, that's a quick little pullback on that 1-minute candle though. As the 9 EMA is at 214, so 215 has to hold up as support. You really want to see this break over 225 and 225 start to hold that support. You can see their buyers are starting to come in now over that 225 area. But you want that 225 to hold up. You want it to start becoming support, because that was the high of day. And you can see there, it's again buyers trying to push it over that. So I'd say you definitely got, I'd say you probably got room up to 250. If it can keep climbing, but nice little pop there. So nice call out. Who called that out? Who called out WEI? Hal Hart. Yeah, nice call out, sir. Good call out on that. It's a little sketchy there for a minute, but held the 9 up. Broke that downtrend through that resistance. Nice volume push. You can see those volume bars. Volume buying coming in into that resistance, and you get the nice push over. We can take out that downtrend now. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's got room up to 250 at this point. And then if it gets through 253, but I mean, you don't really have a ton of resistance between 250 and 3. As long as it holds above 225, 230, and that needs to become new support at this point. It's fine if it consolidates some around this area, but it needs to hold up that 225. It's a weird one though, because I'm looking back to see why it ripped real big that one day, and they said they don't know of any reason why it would be ripping. So it is a little concerning. So you don't have any PR. This is just kind of a sympathy bounce today. It looks like off of the big sell-off. Pretty decent volume, but that's something to be aware of, that there's not really any reason for this to be ripping. So at any point in time, even though you don't have a lot of resistance ahead, it could turn around. Did just make a new high day at 240. But I would definitely be thinking about locking out profit. At least locking out something around 250. If it gets a little sketchy there, if it gets hung up. If it gets there. 240's got a lot of selling. Let's see. I wonder why 240's got a lot of selling. Oh, man, just a new high a day. That's the only thing I can see. I don't. Oh, let's see. You will have a little resistance at 275 too back here. 236. And there's not really any real reason for it to get hung up at 240 other than it just being a new high a day. There it goes. Okay, I was going to say, I don't see any reason for it to get hung up there. So you got up to 250. You should have up to 250. I think that's pretty safe area for some profit. Nice buyer just came in at 243, but he got taken out. I'm going to be a little cautious here. Do have a double top on the 1 minute. Now that could change. And we want to see it change. We want to see it go green. There it goes. Let's see what it looks like at 250. There's some selling at 249. Okay, we do have some sellers at 250. Volume is kind of increasing. Yeah, that 1 minute candle volume's trying to push into that 250. So we want to see more come into there. But like I said, that 250 was a pretty safe area. I mean, if you got in down here at that 215 area, that's like 35 cents. That's a decent little win. But let's see what happens. See if we can break through this 250 or not. Looks like it looks like it might here. Volume keeps increasing. Yep, there it goes. So is pushing through 250 right here. Yeah, that top is more than 5 minutes late. That is kind of concerning. Is it when you can see at 250 still holding up as resistance? You got a pivot point there, so that's probably going to come back down. Couldn't hold over 250. When you say that your charts are loading late, do you mean like the candles are coming in like 5 minutes behind? Is that what you're talking about? Or is it like your whole chart is taking a while to load? Because there is, you could have a delay. You could have a delay on your Thinkorswim on your charting. Let me think. I'm sure. Give me a second here to think about how to do it. I forget. It's a weird setting somewhere. Where is that setting at? Oh, I think if you go up here, let's see, to set up in the top right hand corner. Oh yeah, and then go to system. Make sure that you have real time, no delay on. Make sure that's on. If you've got that on, then yeah, it'd either be your internet or it'd probably be your if that. Did you see that? I don't know. the YouTube platform was saying there was a problem there for the internet. Did you see what I was talking about? Go up to setup up here in the right hand corner, application settings. Go down to system, make sure your quote speed is on real time. Let me know if it was in real time, then we'll go from there on trying to troubleshoot your charting. It could be your laptop, but just make sure that's right first before you go out and buy a new laptop. So this did pop up a little bit more to 258. And we are starting to build some support at 250. So that's, you want to see that. As long as 250 holds up as support, this will probably get up to that 275 area, and maybe even 3. But you want to see 250 start to hold as support. Other thing is it's a little far off the 9 EMA. It's about 20 cents off of it. See, there's some good buying coming in above 250 though. So it's going to have to get more buying volume here soon to keep pushing up. But like I said, it is a little off the 9 EMA, so you definitely want to be aware of that. Like I said, I would definitely I'd lock in something at 250. If you're feeling frisky, you just maybe put a stop loss a little bit below 250. If you want to try to let your position run as long as possible, because it very easily could keep running if it holds up here. Oh, your app is Questrade? I'm not sure then. Any new laptop, anything new is going to be fine. To run these platforms. I mean, you can get fancy with it. I use a gaming computer, a gaming desktop, but I'm doing these live streams and video recording and video editing, and I've got the platform running at the same time here, so I need a little bit of extra power, but you don't need all that for day trading and stuff. So like any basic laptop that's newer will work for you. Some of the newer chips. Make sure it's got the newer Intel chip or the newer AMD processing chip. So very nice so far. I hope you guys, if anybody, and I'm sure Hal made some profit on it because he's the one who called it out, but I hope some of you guys made some profit on it, because even, if it comes back down from now, if you got in at 215 or even 225, it's 30 to 50 cents, in about 15, 20 minutes. Well, a little bit longer than that because this consolidation took a while, but that was a good, nice little play there on a slow day because nothing else is going on. And even OPT is starting to crack off, and I'm just going to get out of it, I think. Volume's pretty dead. Had a good press release, but just never got any more volume. I'll hold it for a little bit longer. There you go. There you go, Hal. Nice job, buddy. That's what I like to see. I like to see you guys winning. Remember, I tell you, if you follow me for a long time, like I said, I don't care if I lose. I took a loss on ISIG, but I'll probably take a loss on OPT, but I'm glad to see you guys winning. That's what I want. I want you guys to be doing good. Yeah, 250 still trying to hold up. But nice play here. We'll give the stream about 10 more minutes. If anybody has any more questions, suggestions, or ideas, you can get those in. And we'll go from there. Kind of starting to curl down a little bit here on WEI, so you might, if 250 starts cracking, you'll probably get a pullback down to the 9. Hey, I appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words, Doc Trader. I'm glad to be back. Like I said yesterday, I'm going to put a video out talking about, why I was gone, because I was out for mental health reasons. So I'm going to do a video on mental health and day trading because it's very important. You're using your brain. When you're day trading, you're literally using your brain the whole entire time you're trading. You're going through probabilities, patterns, strategies, doing math on stop losses. Like it's a whole lot in your brain, so you got to be mentally healthy. And there's a lot of emotions too. You also have to keep your emotions in check. Like there's so much, that goes into it because you're going against computers. So you gotta be mentally healthy as possible, so you can compete against the algorithms and the big trading firms and the big chat rooms. There's so many chat rooms now, and you got a lot of self-proclaimed gurus who are pumping stocks and all that. So there's a lot of competing, a lot of competition. So you got to stay ahead of the curve. And if you're not taking care of yourself mentally, then you're going to have some issues. Like I said, I'll do a video on all that and talk about all that in a little bit more in depth and what happened with me and stuff. But I am back. I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's good. I'm not familiar with Tim Bohan, but those are pretty wise words because there is kind of an addiction factor to day trading because it's similar to gambling. I don't really like to call it gambling because it is similar because there's a lot of probability. But it's not like buying a random lotto ticket and scratching off. There's a degree of skill and mental strength that you have to do it. So it's not gambling per se, unless you just don't know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing and you're going and buying stocks, then you're gambling. But there is an addiction factor to it. Like when you start making money and getting wins, it gets addictive. And it can take over. You can be so focused on it, and it'll affect the rest of your life. So you have to know when to turn off the day trading. And even if you're swing trading or long-term investing, like if you're swing trading, you don't want to be kept up at night because you're worried about, is this stock going to open up at 4 in the morning and just crash and I lose a bunch of money? Like you don't want to be having those thoughts. You gotta separate. You have a separate time for day trading. It's kind of like a job, and then you wanna do some things like Tim said, being having productive hobbies. A lot that helps me is fishing. I like to go fishing, take the dog for a walk, be out in nature. Just shut my brain down from day trading and the stock market and think about other stuff. And it's been a trying year. This year's been a wild year. And it's no secret how crazy this year has been. So everybody's not only fighting the everyday getting through of stuff, but we're also fighting this crazy, insane year of disasters and pandemics and politics and all this crazy stuff. So it's a mentally stressful year for everybody. So if you do, you are feeling down or anything like that, don't just know that you're not alone. You're not the only person feeling that way. We'll get through this year one way or another, and we'll get back to normal life eventually. But until then, just keep your heads in there and stay mentally healthy. Stay physically healthy. Those two are important together. A lot of people say be mentally healthy, but you also have to be physically healthy to be mentally healthy. They go together. So, like I said, walking the dog, whatever you can do, those are very important. So, alright, if there's no questions, suggestions, or ideas, we'll call it a day. Looks like WEI is pulled back all the way down to that 9. There's a possibility it could keep riding the 9, but at this point it's getting close to lunchtime. Volume's going to kind of die off in the market. OPTT, I'm just going to kind of hold it for a little while. I only got 50 shares. Let's see, maybe later today if it starts getting attention, because this is a decent press release. And this didn't really get... Let's actually read it. Let's see. Yeah, contracted by Reston, Virginia-based Adams Communications and Engineering Technology conduct a feasible study evaluation. 5G communication solutions in support of U.S. Navy's postgraduate school Sea, Land, and Air Military Research Initiative. So yeah, that's a pretty good press release. And when the press release came out, it did get a quick pop and just hasn't had any volume since then besides the big sell-off, and then it's just been going sideways. So I'm just going to hold it. It's not even got near my stop loss yet, so I'm going to see what happens with it, but who knows? It's hard to tell. A good press release doesn't really mean anything. Sometimes they can get ripped, sometimes they can't. It's been that's on a pretty decent uptrend on this daily chart, though. I don't know, this may turn into a swing trade. We'll see what happens with it. Kind of been on this downtrend for a little while here, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Who knows? And getting a little bounce there off the 9. Yeah, well, I was saying yesterday, the election is coming up. We're getting real close to the election, so the market is probably going to be real funky until after the election, till we know who's going to win, because there is a very big dramatic difference in policies between the two candidates. So, if you don't think that Wall Street and big firms and all the trading companies and stuff are not keeping a close eye on this, then you're out of your mind. Because I'm telling you, there's such a dramatic difference between the two candidates that there's no telling who's going to win and what's going to happen after that. So I imagine it's going to be funky. Normally elections are funky, but this is one of the funkiest elections that I would say we've ever had. So it's probably going to be funky. So hopefully we can get back to some green days. You know, it's not good to be hopeful and all that in the stock market, but we're back at it, so we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. SCKT, let's take a look at it. Is this for a day trade or swing trade? What is your question on it? Let's see what the float is on this guy. SCKT. Pretty low float. Let's see what's the PR. Oh, they got a patent. Patents are nothing. Everybody gets patents. You can. As for a day trade, yeah, I mean, I don't really see a lot here. The patent press release is not very good. It's not a big deal at all. You got a downtrend at the moment. From Friday, and then you got quite a bit of resistance too, right straight across here, right where the downtrend's at right now. So I mean, you got a lot of resistance ahead. Volume's pretty light so far. I mean, there's not really any reason I see to trade it at the moment. Because you're just gonna run into wall after wall of resistance. And you see right here, candles hit there, it bounced off that resistance there, hit there, got hung up here, and you can see too, you draw another resistance line straight across there. You see those candles, those like 4 or 5 candles hit, 3 or 4 hit right there, this one hit right there. So you get through that, then you got this little pivot point of resistance right there. The candle came up and hit, and then it got rejected, and it came back up. It did break over that, and then you got another couple places where some candles hit right here in this 280 area. You know, this candle hit there, this one bounced off of that, and then you got resistance right up through here. And then $3 is natural resistance. So you got like a lot of walls of resistance for this to even have a breakout. At the moment, it is above all indicators, but just looking back at this past little, 2 days, there's a lot of areas where it's getting caught up at. And it doesn't have a lot of volume right now, so it would take a lot of volume to get through all of that resistance. So the probability of it breaking out is not very good. I could be wrong, but actually, if you look all the way back, you do have a bit of a triangle. That 293 area is going to be real tough. Do have a bit of a triangle, but I mean it really wouldn't. I don't know. I don't particularly like the setup that much. Basically, it would have to get back above 270 before I would even consider it. And it would have to start holding that 270 area as support. You'd want this area right here to start acting as support. But I mean, it's today, I don't know. Maybe the next couple of days there could be a play on it, but today it just looks a little sketchy. See WEI popping up again. So it looks like it's going to get back to that 270. Back to that 270 area. It may get up to 3. Possibly if it keeps the volume it's got, but yeah, it dropped. You know, I mean, it had a quick little pop, but it just dropped right back down on socket. So, like I said, it's not something I wouldn't touch it until it started making some type of support. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe in a couple of days, if it kind of starts to curl up right here and starts to build some support at that 270 area, then it could be a possible play. But today it's pretty risky, and today's not really the best day to try to make a lot of day trades anyway. WEI is the only thing that's ran so far, or at least that I'm aware of. I haven't seen much else doing too much running. YGYI. What do we got here? It's an interesting kind of chart pattern here. It's running up to the 100-day right at $1. Hasn't been over $1 in about 2 months. Not a ton of volume on it though, but I'm gonna put it on the watch list just to keep an eye out on it tomorrow. And that could be a possible play in the next couple of days. Let's see, ISIG selling off pretty hard. CATB not getting any type of bounce. Staff selling off pretty hard. SUNW selling off pretty hard. MRIN, oof. Boy, this swing is getting real sketchy for me. I don't know. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this a little bit today. Because it is getting kind of close to where I don't want to be holding it anymore. I don't know. We'll see what happens on that. Let's see. Yep, WEI breaking up that 275. So, this is probably the play to keep an eye on. It did run, pretty big back here on this day. I don't think it'll probably run that much again today, but it does have good volume, good buy-in, still on the uptrend. But it's just weird. There's no PR on it, and it's making these type of moves. It's kind of like a pump and dump, but it doesn't dump until it ran pretty much all day that day, and then dumped in pre-market, after hours, and pre-market. Then did nothing. I don't know, but this is probably the play I'd keep an eye on today. Just you'd be looking for little patterns and stuff. So I don't see anything else really going on. But, alright guys, I'm going to call it a day. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. We should be back tomorrow. I'll try not to be quite as late in the morning. But yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there. Till next time.